Greetings and salutations, everyone. Sorry about my Friday, Miss Joe. I had the flu. I'm still getting over it. My voice is a little more raspy than normal. Let's start off the show. I hope everyone had a good weekend and had a good Monday. Today I'm going to play some Halls of Torment. I find it kind of a nice break from the norm, and then I'll dive into probably writing some code, something in Node, probably with MongoDB. But let's play around with this. Who do I want to play today? I don't know. Let's take a look and see what Arcane Splinters. I don't have that one. So lately I've gotten a lot of things done. Oh, I got one more item to purchase. Wait, do I have the money to purchase it? Do we even have one more item? No, I got one more item to purchase. Let's see. You. Character Landschnet. Landschnet? Oh. No, I'm not a big fan of this character. It's single shot, but the crit's really good. Let's take a look. The Norsemen land. Oh, deal 750,000 damage with the Spirit Warrior. Okay. And then I think I'll try for this one. The kill 50,000 enemies, or 5,000 enemies, not 50,000, 5,000 enemies with the frost effect in a single run. Let's give that a try. Let's turn up my volume a little bit. I think I'm a little. There we go. Too much stuff on my desk. Let's do the 5,000 and then see if we can do damage with the Spirit Warrior. I think I will pick the Agony level. Let's see the Norseman. I think I will pick. So let's take a look at their stats again. I can never. It would be nice if you could look at the stats. So I get plus 2.5 attack speed, dual wields axes. So let's come over here. Let's swap out a couple things. I think I'm gonna swap out the Broker's Cape. Because I never do anything with it. Let's do the Berserker Boots. Let's swap you out too. Plus 3 damage for everyone within your range. Yes. I'll swap you out some of the rings too. I'm all about attack speed with a lot of these characters. It does serve me so well. I do like the Holy Relic of a ring. And then Frost. So, oh yeah, I haven't purchased all of you. Max out health capacity, max out gold gain. Oh, I haven't maxed out on hit effect chance. Yeah. Let's go. Let's do agony. I've never completed agony, but I just have to kill 5,000 enemies in a single run. And, use Spirit Warrior to do so much damage. So, cool. So, agony, for those who don't know, increases the it increases the difficulty of the level based upon what how well you're doing. And I think what I'll do is a regeneration attack speed build. So that's what we'll go. Super duration. The whole relic is nice because it gives you little buffs throughout the game every like 30 seconds or so. Multi-strike, area range. I want performance, so I'm going to get movement speed. The Berserker Greaves are nice because it means that I have to keep. It's sad because I don't always want to keep moving in this game, but the attack speed bonuses from it are nice, and it looks like this build offers um, offers. It looks like this build offers a bunch of attack speed with its built-in pieces. And since I have the frost bonus from the ring and as a Norseman, there we go. Plus 10 damage, plus 15% health. Not bad. I've also been playing around with the cleric. The cleric's pretty neat. That's cool. No, that's not. Sorry. The cleric would have like two-shotted this thing. It's pretty neat. I really enjoy the cleric. The Norseman's alright. Let's go for force. Let's go for pickup range. It's not bad. Like I don't hate the Norseman. Some people really like it. I heard Noise Critical talk about it. I'll play around with that. I think ultimately, excuse me, ultimately that they should use the. No, let's do Radiant Order. I think ultimately they should probably use something like Node. It's pretty simple. I'll set that up and everything. We'll see how it goes. Plus 10% area. The Holy Relic is nice because it gives you every 30 seconds. It either gives you hit points, or it either gives you, or I'm sorry, like a little healing ring, or it gives you a buff. See, like there's my little. It does that based upon how much health you have. So if you have low health, um, yeah, This isn't bad. Uh, dedication to. I don't mind this at all. I went for agony because I figured it would give me more monsters, and it definitely is. Let's go ahead and get that other scroll. Radiant Aura is, I think, a good choice for this character because I have to get so close. I was hoping for Flame Strike, but not this time. We'll see. Let's do the range. Let's go down and get this scroll. Let's see. Getting health just doesn't seem as important, but I do like the grabby hand. Let's see if we can get a little bit further down before something comes up. There's the boss. The Northman was one of the first that I tried after I got the Archer up a bit of a ways. They seemed pretty cool at the time. Let's go for attack speed. Quick hands 3. Not bad. Not bad. Cool. Collect up to debuff. I'm gonna be able to get that mini boss. He keeps hiding in the crowd. Let's see what we're gonna do. Let's do plus 35% damage. See if we can get this mini boss before it spawns. I'm trying to get so many. Oop, taking a beating here again. Um, let's do. I don't think I have. So the idea was, I think for my goal for this one was to get the Norse achievement of, I think 5,000 frost damage. So again, I'm surviving thanks to the plus 25 effect on hit chance. Let's do you. Let's see. Ooh, and I hit one of those collect all hands. It didn't help me much though. Nice. $3 million with Spirit Warrior. 3 million damage, not dollars. Let's do multi-strike. I think my metabolism's alright here. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the achievements are a lot more achievable on the agony levels. I think they just provide you with more opportunities to do so. So if I always move, I get 16% attack speed. But if I don't always move, I can with the jab step, I can keep it up to about 13 or 14. Let's go for the transfixion on this one. Lasting pretty long over here. Oh, I'm gonna get tore up here. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Lich time. I don't know if I'll survive this, but let's give it a try. I think it'll be tough. I was really hoping to get enough for the frost level up. The frost achievement, but I don't think I will. I think I might die soonish. I still have a two resurrections from. Let's run away. Because I can't even get to the boss at this point. Collected some. Like it'll push some stuff away, but it's not going to save me. Let's go for the movement speed. It's just not enough damage. They're just so unnecessarily durable. Like there should be levels to this. They're just so unnecessarily durable. And another mini boss? Alright, that's just unnecessary. They're just so unnecessarily durable. I get it. The agony is meant to level up as you do better, but this just seems like a little overkill. Maybe I should have just picked a normal. Let's do base regeneration. I just can't get in enough hits to the bosses to even do a thing. There's still this guy here. See if we can at least kill one person. Alright, let's see what we got. Long finger gloves. Boost. Nice. Let's look something up here while I'm here. Look up. Halls of Torment. Green items. Can you retrieve green items? Blah, 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 blah. You don't need 100% completion after 2 hours. Oh, yeah, that's true. What's the difference? It's neither bad nor great. It's a solution to a problem. Alright, now that makes a lot of sense. You can't pick them up. I'll just take the XP. I'm gonna die anyway. Nice. Land 20,000 hits. So I got one. Not quite what I was aiming for, but 30% effect chance. Not bad. See if we can run away from here. I don't think I can get out. I think I'm gonna just die. 13. Let's revive myself again and see. Let's see if we can. Maybe I can. Nice. Let's go for regeneration. We got one more bottle. Not bad. There I go. We got a bunch of achievements though. Cold Rage, Spirit Warrior Master 1, 2, and 3, and Warrior's Fervor. Nice. So, let's take a look here. I didn't bring anything to the top. Cold Fury. Oh, I only got 2,189. Upgrade Spirit Needles and reach Agony 3 in the Frozen Depths. Alright. Let's look at that. Oh, I guess. Nice. No agony. I don't think I'll do another run for right now. I think I will quit. And let's go ahead. um, all right. Let's use, weirdly enough, let's actually open up PyCharm. And let's build the entire thing in PyCharm because it's quicker and fast. Not to say that Node isn't fast, but like, if I can create users this way, I don't know. I don't know if I feel that strong. You know what? Let's do Node. Let's go ahead and do Node. Let's do directory spa. So let's go into our spa directory. Let's do the API and make directory. So let's go to the API. Let's do npm init here. API. Yep. Yeah. So let's do express. I don't remember off the top of my head all the things. Let's see. What do I want to do? I think I would really love to use nest, but in lieu of nest, yeah, let's do this. Let's do bcrypt. Let's do .environment. Let's do JSON web token, and let's do mongoose. Forgot to do install. Let's do a couple different endpoints. Let's do one for admin, so that as an admin you can see a bunch of information. And this is a general spa app that I'm deciding to make. So log in with username and password, API. Let's go ahead and build some of this. Web store. Cool. Let's go ahead and D drive. So many bits of code. Let's go to the spa. Spa API. Okay. Let's start off with our folder structure. Let's build controllers. Let's build models. Let's build a routes. Let's build utils. Keep all of our routes in a new API. And we'll just keep it as server, and we'll actually make a file api.js. So we'll start off with, let's zoom in a bit. Let's do a const express equals require express. We might need path, but we might not. We'll just include it anyway and delete it if we don't need it. Let's go ahead and set up our base config directory for where we keep our database. We'll call it connection.js. Const use equals require mongoose, and then mongoose dot connect. We'll get it from our process dot environment dot mongodb URI, or we'll just point to local mongo, a local host, spa, and we'll pass in a bunch of options. So use new URL parser through use unified topology through use create index through, then use find and modify set to true. This is from one of my old projects. And let's export it. Export. Cool. So there's our connection. Let's go to our api.js and let's get our DB. Config connection. We'll keep our routes over here. And const app equals express. And let's have our port. We'll say it's going to be equal to, we'll do process.environment.port, or defaults to port 3000, because, everyone loves 3000. Or actually, let's do 3001. That way, if we build the front end, we won't clash. We'll use express.url encoded, extended true. So that way, we'll allow URL encoded, and we'll allow JSON parsing. Use express.json. So that way we'll parse both URL encoded stuff and JSON. If we were, we'll just keep doing this. We'll do app.use routes. And we'll do a db dot once it's set up. Once db is set up, and then we'll go ahead and do an app.listen on our port of choice. And we'll say console.log. We'll say spa API. And running on port And this should be string interpolation. So port. And we'll add a little catch here, so that way we'll catch any uncaught exceptions. And we'll just log it. Yeah. And yeah. So this will set up our base here. It doesn't look like I'm going to use path. We'll leave you all at the top. app.use db once. It's a pretty simple file. Let's dive into our routes folder. I'll make an index.js. We'll go ahead and set up our router. Express dot router. I don't think I need any path bits, but we'll set up API route is going to be equal to. We'll just point it to the API folder, and then router.use, so that when they hit the /API path, it's going to point to API, and then we'll module.exports. Module.exports router. I'm not using models. What are you going to be about? I don't really care about this part. You can just leave it as /API. ./API routes. Cool. And then inside here, let's start off with let's do a user routes. User.routes.js. So for our models, let's build them in here. Start off with our base index.js for our models. Let's lay them out. Let's start off with the user first. And it's just going to be, we're going to call it user.model.js is the name of the file. That way, ./user.model.js. And then module.exports user. And that's what we'll start off with for now. Now let's go ahead and create our model. So it's going to be user.model.js. Start off here. I believe this is still the old way of doing things. Now I think there's much newer approaches, but we might look at that at one point. Const bcrypt equals require. Yep, there we go. There's our bcrypt. Const. We'll do this. We'll do email type string required of true and unique true. I don't know. Let's take a look. So mongoose email validation. Cat schema required true. Built-in validators equal to. I don't see anything in here for unique option is not a validator. Nope, I don't see anything in here. Validation email syntax required. You could use match or validate property. Looks like somebody's done use my input. Let's take a look at this library. npm install validator strings only for ES5 const wasn't available in ES5. I see. No, that's not bad. Yeah, let's use it. Let's grab this validator library. It seems handy. API, and let's see. And it looks like I can just do this. I believe it's require. Const is email from. Const is email, so require from validator. And then we could say validate is email and valid email. Cool. I'll do a password. I am not going to use a minimum password. We'll say required. True. We'll add a couple things. So we'll add into the user schema before you save. We'll add in an asynchronous function to if this dot is new or this dot is modified. We'll go ahead and I ran into this before. I ran into a bunch of trouble where it didn't quite work. But we'll see if it will. So we will try this approach. Bcrypt.hash this dot password salt rounds. And we'll just call you salt rather than salt rounds. And then we'll create an is correct. So we'll say 1. We're going to do this anyway. We'll module.exports user, and that's because we're going to come down here and say const user is going to be equal to model of user schema. Also, we're going to add an is correct check in here. Dot methods dot is correct password is going to be equal to an asynchronous function where we take the password and we return bcrypt.compare password this dot password. Yeah, we'll start there. So that's what we're gonna do for the user model. There's our user model. We don't have any routes. let's create a couple quick routes here and then go ahead and set things up and get tested. So let's create our base user routes. And these are just going to be the routes. This is not actually going to be the controllers. We'll separate that, keep it a little cleaner. For the base ones, we'll have a create user, a login user, no, not going to do a flat password. Create, login, and we'll get them from our controller, which is going to be in controllers. It's going to be user.controller.js. And we'll keep it pretty simple. So our main create user is going to be here. Then we'll have a router for, we'll create a login path. router.hosts/login, and this is going to be login user. We'll export you so you're available. I'm not going to do the middleware at this point. The middleware will just verify the token from the JWT. And we'll worry about that in our controller. So let's go over here and create a user.controller.js. See what my base controller. We'll bring in our, so we need to bring in user. From models, and we need to be in. Now I used a function before. Let's create. Yeah, we'll use a utility. Auth utils.js. So we'll do export const create token, where you pass in, we want the email and the ID. And what we're going to do is we're going to return a require. We're going to return a jwt.sign with the email address, the ID being the underscore ID. That's going to be our object. We need to have our secret. Expire in we'll pick some stupidly long time. So for our JWT to work, we need to import JWT, and then our secret is going to come from environmental file. It's going to be process.environmental. JSON secret, or change me. Speaking of which, that means on environmental level we need a new file, a .env file. Whoop, nope, not a .net file. .env file. So, I am perfectly fine with using local. We do need a port if we care, which we don't, but that's fine. connection is perfectly fine to be localhost.bar. So we'll do, let's do this. Let's move you over here. Let's open up you. And just to keep it clean, we'll use you. And then the other thing we need is here. The JSON secret is going to be equal to some secret phrase. Now, it occurs to me that one of the things we might need in here is admin type boolean required is false. And I'll need to figure out how to seed so that I could seed a bunch of people as is admin or not. And I guess, hold on. I guess what I want to do is, yeah. So we'll seed from the back end to create our admin users. When they log in, though, we do want to return whether the user is an admin. We should probably just, well, I guess we don't really care. If they're an admin and they suddenly see someone, we should probably, let's do the following. We should probably, whenever they go to do certain admin things, just verify the user. So we'll worry about that at another point. Let's go ahead and pull in our create token. It's going to require utils / auth utils. Let's double check. I called it create token. Cool. Let's call it create user. You're going to have a request and a result. We'll do our const errors. I do this. There's probably a lot easier way. Let's see if Node has something built in for that. Node catch request catch missing body parameters. I guess you have to do it yourself. Node is there a library to catch body parameters? Yeah. Let's see. Actually, let's check out ChatGPT, as Prime Reacts calls it. See, check it out. Is there a library for Node and Express that can validate the required parameters for an API REST endpoint? Joy, define the schemas for the data to validate. Oh, there's something called Express Validator. Neat. Let's look at Express Validator. Required cookie set params. Getting started. Adding a validator. Query. Person not empty. That doesn't seem bad. Sanitizing inputs, I see. Ooh, so this is nice. So this will sanitize. So, yeah, let's give this a try. I don't think it's not particularly terrible or bad. So, let's do express validator. Yeah, let's use it. NVMI express validator. Cool, done. And let's get started. Here it is. We don't want it for the query. Oops. Const query. I think we want it for the body though. Yeah. And then when we do our request, hello. Let's see how I would do it here. Because it doesn't say. Let's ask. Using express validator. How can I add a validation for the following function? Specifically, I want to escape any passwords. I want to force the user to enter a email and password, validate the email, and escape both. The body will only contain email and password. Already have. So I'm assuming I just have to add it to the top as I normally do. Yeah. So we could do this. But it looks like you have to create your validation rules. So we could do this. We could call this login validation rules. Enter a valid email address, trim escaped. Cool. And then you would do, yeah, you could do this, it looks like. If, nice. And then we'll just go ahead and, if everything looks good, we could just do user MongoDB .create request.body. And we should probably actually keep it clean. No, I guess it should be. I always hesitate because I guess in theory it could allow for more if we pass in more. Let's play around with that actually. So we'll get our new user. So yeah, let's play around with that. Let's see what happens because I think Mongo might let you create more, but it might not. But let's see. We'll create a token when we create the user, which is going to be the new user dot email and new user dot ID. I don't need the curly brackets. I'm not sending an object. And then we'll create a return user. We'll just do a res.status to return. We'll send back a 200. And we'll send back the user, which is going to consist of an object of ID, which is new user dot underscore ID, and I guess their email address. And I don't know how we want to do admin login. I think we'll probably do admin login separately, so they wouldn't come here. And yeah, new user.email. And the other property we're going to send back is our access token, which is just going to be our token. So that will create that. If there are any problems, we'll catch the errors, and we'll send back a res.status return res.status of what is 500. So let's take a look. HTTP status codes. So 500. Yeah, 500 is fine. It just means internal error dot send. We'll send an error dot message. So this will create the user. And we'll actually make you more specific. So we'll say create user validation rules, so that it is much more specific. Cannot call. Hold on a second. Oh, I see. So these actually need to be moved into the same spot as our routes. So before each of these, you would do that, and then I need to attach these rules to here. And it occurred to me that we're going to keep a separate login for admin. Call login admin user. The difference is we'll only allow people that have an admin of 1. So we'll come over here to our user controller. Unresolved variable. Yeah, I mean, but that's going to happen in JavaScript because there's no way of validating it. Export function login user with a request and a response. The routes. Is not empty. Password is required. Yeah, I guess it could be used the same. So we'll just call them user validation rules. I was hesitant to just automatically assumed, but it does need to be an email address. So we'll put those same validation rules for the login. So we have that. And so then we can just run the same thing. Now this is a repeat of code. We could put it up here as a non-exported function. Called function handle user request validation, where it accepts the request and the response. And I think we could just simply say handle user request and response, and that would handle all of that. And then we've created a function. It's not exported, and we're not repeating code, which repeats the dry functionality here. So don't repeat yourself. We don't have the admin piece done, but we now know that the user is going to be, both the user and the password is going to be yes. So we can do user.findOne, where the email address equals the request.body.email. Speaking of which, what did we use body here for? Oh, I see. So we come back here to user routes. We did need body. Cool. So over here on user controller, we find one where the email address matches. When we find it, we're going to get a found user. And when that happens, we're going to check whether it's the correct password. Const. And we don't need to do this. We could break it up if we wanted to. We'll say if not found user dot is correct password, and that's because we created over here on our models, we did an is correct password method. So we can now use that method over here. So we can now say if is correct password, and we'll pass in the request.body.password. If it's not, then I don't know why I put a semicolon here. So we can return res.status. We'll say 400.send. And to keep it straight, we'll keep all of our errors the same error. And we should do the following. So first, we should say if no found user comes up first, return res.status 404.send error user not found. So that handles that case. Then if it's the incorrect password, we send wrong password. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and create our token. Const token is going to be create token, and it's going to be basically the same as above. And here's another example where we could don't repeat yourself function create token from user, where we'll get a user. And if no, I guess we could add some error checking. If no user, return. Otherwise, we return create token user.email and then user.id. And then we could just say this everywhere. Do user, And again, this is just more do not repeat yourself. Again, there's probably a ton of different ways of doing this. Found user, if no user, there's our token. And we'll do the same thing that we do up here pretty much. So, and this is another example where I probably could find a way to not repeat myself. Yeah, so let's do that. Function return user with token. User that we want to return and the response. And it would just be this consistent. Return res.status 200.send user user.id user, and then the token would be create token from user. So then we could just say, I think we could just say return token with user, new user, and the response. And I think we can do the same thing down here. Except this is going to be found user. There's no need to create the token here anymore. No need to create the token here anymore. That reduces some code. And then finally we can catch this. And we could probably find a way not to repeat this as well. There's a space there. Space there. That's that. So let's create a similar one. Routes. Also, same user validation rules, but you're going to be login admin user. Require email. Let me double check something. Let's see. I think for MongoDB, when you want to pass in two, it's just comma separated. Mongoose, find one with multiple conditions. Pretty sure it's just comma separated. Find one. Yeah, comma. So in this particular instance for the login, we want to find and is admin is true. And we'll differentiate it by calling it find admin user. So user yeah, access token. I don't know how we want to differentiate between the user from an admin or not. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that. I imagine one that will be a separate portal, but I guess it'll bring back the same information. We'll see. I don't know. That's a good question. It might not care. It might not care at all. But I guess it should. Create user, return user. Is admin equals false? If we do it that way, then const user object is going to be equal to this. And then we will say if is admin user object dot is admin. Is this going to be true? And yeah, and then we'll just say user is going to be equal to user object here. And then whenever we send a request back that requires admin access, we'll verify that. And this true. So let's go ahead and test all of this out. Let's do node API.js. It looks like I messed something up though. Node dir. Did I put it in the wrong directory? No, I didn't. Node API.js. Cannot find /API. Oh. It's dot router.use wire. What? Oh. Because I did not put an index.js file here. No wonder. And let's go ahead and add on all routes. Const router equal require express router. And this might be an old approach. I don't know if people are still using this. Const user routes is going to be equal to require. And there might be more user routes, like deleting a user, editing a user. Yeah, there might be more. There might be more endpoints. And it's going to be this user, and we'll module.exports router. Yeah, there could be more endpoints. So let's go ahead, node export and create user. Unexpected token export. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Let's do this instead. It doesn't really matter. It just will probably like it a little bit better. So the same thing here. We'll export const u. And then, yeah, we'll export const u. The other function should still be fine. Let's run you again. You're still unhappy about something. No, you should be fine. What are we grumpy about here? Unexpected token export. What are you grumpy? Oh, I'm being a dumbass. I am being a dumbass. Look at me go. Now that should work. And create token. It doesn't like you. So that fixes you guys. Let's look at our token. Why don't you like our export const create token? I guess I'm going to have to module.export you. Or do that. Mongoose create user indexing use find modifier not supported anymore. All right. So then I'm wrong. So no more create, index, and find modify. You're both out. Let's see if you work now. Nice. So our SPA app is up and running on port 3001. Let's go ahead and use Insomnia to go ahead and test all of the things. All of the things. Now, I guess some people prefer Postman, but I don't really feel that strongly about it. Let's go home. Let's add another request collection. Let's do a SPA app. Let's create a new request. It's going to be create user. It's going to be a post request. Post http://localhost 3001 API user, and let's do send. Yep. So our send request is working. Password and email is required. Let's come over here to our JSON. Let's put in our email as test.test@test.com, and we'll use a random password. We didn't require anything of password. Terrible password, by the way. Cool. But it didn't validate and create our user token. Let's go to our MongoDB compass and take a look and see what's going on. So we have our MongoDB compass over here. Let's make you a little bit bigger if we can. Here's our SPA app. There's our users. So we created the user. We got the ID. We have run into an issue though. Headers cannot be sent after they are sent to the client. So let's go over here to our controllers. And what did I forget? So log in, create user, return users. I guess I wonder if I don't need 2 returns here. I wonder if I can just do this. We'll see. Create from user underscore ID, I think is our problem. So we created the user. And then let's console.log our new user here and see why we're not getting, because our access token is empty. So the only time that would occur is if there's no user. Or a lot of reasons. I think, no, it shouldn't take that long. Let's take a look. 1, let's go ahead and kill this user. Let's delete the record. We'll play around with a couple things here. So let's nodemon this up. So you're running. Let's test this out again. And let's go ahead and take a look at what happens in WebStorm. So we got our ID. We have our password. We console logged. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's close you over here. Let's move you down a little bit. So we got our user right here. Let's see, maybe it's something wrong with the way I'm referencing ID. So let's delete our record again so that we could use it. And let's hit it up again. I think I need to convert this. So validation. Let's see. On use get ID from object ID. It looks like I can just say p.id. So let's try that. Let's delete our user again. And so, yeah, so we don't need to do dash ID. We can just do ID. ID. Yeah, so that should work. That'll create the ID. We're not repeating ourselves. So now let's see if, let's delete you again. Oof, oof, oof. So the create token from user, let's take a look at this. I guess we'll have to debug this. So our create token function is going to get an underscore ID from the user. We could just say ID. So we'll just say ID. It shouldn't care. And so does it think there's no user? Let's do this. Create token from user, console.log user, and I wonder if I need to await this. Let's take a look at the documentation, sadly. No one loves documentation, no one at all. Let's see. Let's look at jwt.sign. Asynchronous. If a callback. Alright. Alright. So that's fine. So you're good. You're good. We'll console log the user there. Let's move you somewhere else. Let's console.log the token here and put the token here. Let's delete our user again. And let's try once more. So we have, there's the user, so it does see it. The user ID, it does pass it on. So the only thing that I can think is there's something wrong with the way that I'm doing JWT over here. Let's copy you and see if maybe I'm fucking up somehow. Create token from user. Yeah, maybe I'm messing up somehow. User.email const token equals this, expires in that. I'm only using it in one spot, so expected user ID and our secret is gonna come from here. Oh, I know why. I know why. It is because I have not enabled .env. I didn't enable it. I have to enable it somewhere. So, I need to enable my environmental variable. Look at me being a dumbass. Node.env. Yep, there we go. Installed. Yeah. So, look at me being a dumbass. Let's roll everything back that I've changed here. Let's see if now you work, which you should. So let's fix all the things. Let's come over here to our API. Require. Let's move you up. Let's see if that works. Let's delete. We're already running. No. All right. Let's take a look at something then. Let's console.log our secret here. And delete you. And send you. And duplicate keys. Yeah, I get that. So you're not finding it. Do I need to have it here? Where do we put you? Let's look at our documentation again. Where would we put you? Where would we put you? I guess we could preload this. By doing this, you do not need to require unload.env. Did I forget to put a JSON? No, I didn't. I put it in there. Let's try this. Let's come over to our user controller. Let's do it over here instead. Const token is going to be equal to that. Let's grab you. Let's log our secret here. Your email is going to be equal to user.email. And ID is going to be equal to user.id. Secret expires. Create token. Let's put the token here. Console.log token here. And let's try this one more time. Alright, let's go to Insomnia. Oh, still grumpy about something. Let's see if we can debug this. Stop you. Debug. Let's go over to here, create some breakpoints. Process console, debugger attached. Let's delete and actually try debugging this. Sadly, send. Debugger attached. No. When we say debug, let's go over here. Code, navigate, run. We say debug, edit configurations, add new. We're doing it with node, no specific parameters. The JavaScript file we're going to debug is api.js. Apply, debug. Okay, so now we should be running. Send. So the user exists. We'll step over. Look at me. Look at me. I'm an idiot. I'm staring at the code this whole time. If no user. Oh, I'm killing myself here. Oh, I'm killing myself. It's so stupid. Oh my god. This whole time I'm thinking like, oh, I've done something terrible and I've messed up. No user. You're fine. You're fine. This whole time I'm just, oh, the tiniest of things. Alright. So now when we send it in, there's our fucking access token. Alright, cool. So we have our login route, our create user route. Let's test the login out real quick. If we try to send it again, it'll complain that there's a duplicate error. We should probably customize that error a bit more, but we're not going to. HTTP request. Let's do a post to login, user/login. We'll rename our request over here. Login to spa app. And we'll rename you to create user. So the login is going to be the same. The body is going to be JSON. Send. Awesome. So there's our login, there's our password, there's our access token, and then we can go ahead and finish the other pieces later. So this creates your base login pieces for MongoDB if you wanted to go this particular route. That took longer because I messed up a few things, but we implemented some do not repeat yourself code in here, so there are probably a few things that we could probably clean up. Like we could probably return this as one big catch and clean up that user. We could actually probably put you into a generic error handler and have it handled that way. So there's the auth utilities, there's our controllers. I think the only other thing that I wanted to implement with this was I guess there could be other user functions. So potentially we could allow for a deletion of a user and a so if we wanted to do a delete user function, which would only be accessible to an admin, so it would be router.delete, and it would be a delete endpoint. And we might do, in this particular one, there could be multiple, but we're going to verify. Oh, yeah. For delete, you have to specify a user ID that we want to delete. So for that particular endpoint, so it would be delete and it would be /: a user ID that we would want to delete. We don't allow the user to delete themselves, and we won't allow the user to delete other admins. I guess we would need a super admin, but yeah, I guess, yeah. So somehow we would verify an access token. We'd write that middleware then, and we would delete user. And that might look something along the lines of this. So in our user controller, we would do something similar here. We would say exports, delete user. We'd have our request. We have our res. We will have verified the user. We will have verified whether other admin. We would need to get the current user. After we got the current user, we would verify the deleted user exists. Get the current user. Verify the current user is an admin. Verify the deleted user exists. Delete the user, and that's it. I guess potentially at one point you might have a get endpoint, but for this, since we have the user ID, we might do something like this. We would say user.find one where ID is equal to request. Request dot. So this all depends on how you do your authorization. So I would probably do it as user ID, and since we have a bunch of them over here, you might do something along the lines of exports dot, and this is definitely not the only way. This is a very simplified method. So you would get your request and your response, and next. This just verifies the access token. We get the token, and choose how you want to do it. I would just probably do an access token here. You could also do bearer token, so forth and so on. If there's no token, and you would only put this on verified endpoints. If there's no token, return, send back a 403 with no permissions. .send, and we've been doing this consistently. We should probably find a way to try or do not repeat yourself with these errors. And no token provided. No access token provided. Provider provided. So there's your if statement, and then you would just do your jwt.verify the token, the secret, and any error, and whether it's decoded or not. And then our function from here, if error, we would do something similar. Now 403 is 1, but we'll do a 401 here, and say unauthorized. Unauthorized. Otherwise, we would just take the request, modify it, and add in user ID is going to be equal to decoded.id. And then next. That means that on our routes for user we now need to import verify access token. And on our user controller, we have the user ID. So we find one, that's the admin user. If found admin user, and we do the same. If the user is not found, we would just say they're not found. We would verify that they're an admin. If found admin user dot, if they're not an admin, we would just return res.status of a 401. Let's double check. Let's look at what HTTP status codes there are. 401 unauthorized. Yeah. So it would be a 401.send error unauthorized. But if it is a valid sound user, we would just try to delete the other user, if not an admin. And now potentially, normally you might return the list. So one of the things that you have with this is we didn't do any of the list functions, so you might verify that beforehand. But let's try and do a delete. So try to delete the other user. So we would do user.delete where. Oh, and right off the bat, since we're getting the query parameters, we might do something along the lines of this. Errors.array. So we would say if there is no request dot params dot. Oh, and now, so here's the thing. Here's a perfectly good opportunity. So there's the user validation rules. We could add some in here for user delete validation rules, and it's just going to be param validator, and the one we're looking for is user ID, and it can be not is empty with message. User ID is required. Trim, and we want to escape this one as well. So this is nice. So, and when you have multiple rules in here, you'd verify the access token and deletion rules. I believe that's allowed. Argument types do not match parameters. I thought it was. Any. Let's see. So I wonder if I need to do a separate. Let's see if that works. I think it will. So user controller. We validated that it's an ID is there already. We get the user ID, and we want to delete one where, in this particular instance, where the underscore ID matches the request dot params dot user ID. But how do we do multiple? Mongoose node delete one not delete one for not equal. But I'm assuming it's the same one. So let's do find one multiple conditions and look at that example. Then greater than 5. Find one not equal. Because I'm assuming it's the same rules. Find not equal, not equal. Find on multiples not equal. So user ID or I wonder if it would be and. I guess we could just do and. Field name. So it would be user ID and find. Would it just be is admin in the E not equal to true? I wonder if it, let's give it a try and then we'll go from there. I'll have to create a user though in the system. And we'll just return res.status of 200 dot send. What did we send everywhere else? We sent objects. So I guess we should send another object of message. User deleted successfully. And then catch anything, which is what we catch everywhere. So let's take a look. Not found, unauthorized, is admin. We're getting this error message about the unified topology. So in our connection, we now can get rid of the unified topology. There's no more warnings. Oh, let's give something a try. When we create our user, we'll create a new one called test@blob.com, and we'll add in the isAdmin here of true. And let's send this to the backend and let's see what happens. Let's refresh. How can I only see one of one. There it is. Oh, see, that's bad. We shouldn't be able to pass in isAdmin when we create a user. Here's another thing. Let's see. Random. Let's put in some junk in here. Test@tom.com. And if we refresh, it didn't allow for us to create the random junk, but it did allow us to pass in the isAdmin. and it shouldn't. Now it's fine for our one test instance. We're going to use our test at blob.com, but going forward after this one example, we should not allow that. So let's come over here to our user controller, our create user. Let's exclude is admin. And so I guess we would say this: if request.body has, let's see, it's not has. Oh, what would it be? If object has key. How to check if an object has a key? Ah, there it is. It's in. If object. Yeah, that's what it is. If. But we'll play around with this because I want to know if is admin in request.body. Then we want to remove. Is it remove? I think it is. Let's delete. Delete. If it exists. But let's test a couple things out. So that's testing, that's checking out that. But what if we did a lowercase is admin of true and tested you at Tom2, and let's see how it responds. Okay, so it only will do it if it's capitalized and matches the case specifically. So I can just do this. Now I think there's probably a better way to do this though, but this is a simple way. So we've corrected the password. We now have a user that we can use. So let's get rid of. We can get rid of it to our delete. So that's their user ID. We'll use. So let's try to delete a user. And then we'll call it a day. API user. It's going to be delete. And the user ID that we're going to delete is this one. And our headers. Hold on a second. I think I said for my validation, the headers is going to be called access token. Header is going to be called access token. Let's log in to our application with our new test at blob.com and get that access token. Send. We grab you. We come over here to our request, our headers, our value, body, cannot, not found, delete, not found, delete, not found, post put, user routes. Oh, I said delete. It should just be user ID. Well, now when we send, user not found. So that's on me. Request.user ID. So let's go over to our validation function. Decoded.id. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's stop everything. Let's debug. Let's send. Decoded.id. Yeah, we have that. So then when we come over to here, let's put a breakpoint here. Set play. Huh. I know why. Underscore ID. Because I did it down here, but I didn't do it for the others. Send. User deleted successfully. When we come back over here and refresh, there they go. So there's your delete endpoint, verifies that the user is an admin, but let's say I log in as, let's create another random user called Tom2. Let's refresh. And let's use test@test.com. So let's log in. We got a brand new access token. So now we have this brand new access token in our header. Let's use you. And now if we try to delete this user here, we should be told unauthorized. Yeah. So there we go. And if we refresh, Tom at test at Tom2 is still there. So that allows us to go ahead and all right. So that's the simple beginning of the Spa app. The only other things I wanted to incorporate for this are, let's see, the ability to do a reservation and then maybe an admin piece. I think at one particular point I might eyeball using Svelte for this. I played around with Svelte before. Let's take a look. And I could just do vanilla JavaScript too, but I don't know if I really care. Svelte versus React performance. It supposedly improved performance. Accept and close. React performance. Maybe. I did the login before with this. Create Svelte. No virtual DOM. Less code reactivity. Simpler, lightweight reactivity, reactive, less code, component-based, growing efficient. That's not but so helpful. Let's see. Key features, pros and cons. No virtual DOM. Less boilerplate. Unique UX. Um, Code reusability. Head-to-head comparison. Popularity. I don't really care about the popularity of it. Scalability. Does most of the work on the compile step. This improves performance a lot and gives a boost to the server start. I might use Svelte for this, because why not? So I'll play around with that. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here for this evening. Thank you for joining. I hope everyone has a good week. And I will see you on Friday unless I am sick again. For those within Pennsylvania, there is a convention coming up this weekend called it's an anime convention. Zenkai Con. For those people in looks like the Lancaster area, and then there's Thy Geekdom Com on the 24th, which is weird. It's slightly overlapping. No, that's May. So in March you have Zenkai Con, and in May you have Thy Geekdom Com in the greater Philadelphia area, and then there's a fan expo in May. So